How does a man with no title, no official rank, and no visible business empire become the center of a $4.5 billion global storm? This isn't just a story about money. It's about a ghost in the machine, a phantom who walked through the highest corridors of power, leaving nothing but whispers and a trail of debt. This is the story of Jho Low. Jho Low is not a person. He is a glitch in the global financial system. To understand how he vanished with billions, we first need to understand the man who, in many ways, was never really there. Born in Malaysia, Low Taik Jho was just an ordinary, stocky, round-faced business student. He wasn't a prince, he wasn't royalty, yet he built a persona so powerful it fooled banks, celebrities, and even entire governments. His real power wasn't money, it was the perception of money. He understood that in the world of the ultra-rich, if you look the part, you are the part. We see his silhouette in exclusive clubs, his name whispered at lavish parties from New York to Saint-Tropez. But these early days were just the rehearsal. The main act was a fund called 1MDB, or One Malaysia Development Berhad. On paper it was a sovereign wealth fund, created with the noble goal of building a nation, of investing in Malaysia's future. In reality it was an empty vessel, a complex architecture of shell companies and offshore accounts designed from the very beginning to be emptied. Think of it like a stage set for the world's greatest magic trick. The fund had a legitimate purpose, government backing, and powerful names attached. This was the misdirection. While the world watched the grand performance of nation building, Jho Low, the ghost lobbyist, was backstage pulling the levers. He materialized in rooms he should never have been in. One day he's advising on deals in Abu Dhabi. The next he's mingling at the White House. He had no official role with 1MDB, yet he was its central operator. His fingerprints were nowhere, but his influence was everywhere. He mastered the art of being invisible in plain sight, a distinctively Chinese-Malaysian face in crowds of Middle Eastern sheikhs and Western bankers, a quiet orchestrator in a symphony of greed. So, how did he do it? Through a web of relationships, favors, and an uncanny ability to connect people who had something to gain. He wasn't just moving money, he was moving influence. He positioned himself as the indispensable middleman, the key that unlocked deals others couldn't. He used other people's power as his own, creating a network of silence where everyone was too compromised to speak up. The system wasn't just broken, it was designed to protect him. Then came the Hollywood chapter. The money, laundered through the global financial system, resurfaced in the most spectacular way possible. It funded multi-million-dollar parties with Leonardo DiCaprio and Paris Hilton. It bought priceless art by Monet and Van Gogh. It even financed a major Hollywood blockbuster, The Wolf of Wall Street, a film, ironically, about financial fraud. This was the masterstroke. Low wasn't just spending the money, he was using it to buy legitimacy, to wrap himself in the glamour and power of celebrity culture. If Hollywood takes your money, who's to say it isn't clean? The parties were legendary, Cristal champagne flowing like water, A-list celebrities flown in on private jets. For his 31st birthday in Las Vegas, Britney Spears jumped out of a cake to sing Happy Birthday. He lavished gifts on his new friends, a Picasso for DiCaprio, millions in diamonds for supermodel Miranda Kerr. He wasn't just buying friendship, he was buying their silence, their complicity. He became a character in the world he was funding, a walking, talking spectacle of wealth. But every party has to end. As journalists and investigators began pulling at the threads, the entire tapestry started to unravel. The money trail, deliberately convoluted, led from Malaysia through Switzerland, Singapore, and the United States. It revealed a conspiracy of breathtaking scale, implicating some of the world's biggest financial institutions like Goldman Sachs, which helped raise the bonds for 1MDB and earned massive fees in the process. The fallout was catastrophic. A prime minister was toppled, bankers were jailed, and the world finally got a glimpse of the ghost. But just as the net seemed to be closing in, Jho Low vanished. One moment he was the king of the world, the next a phantom. He became an international fugitive, the subject of an Interpol red notice. Yet he continued to live a life of luxury, reportedly sailing the world on his super yacht, Equanimity, a $250 million symbol of his stolen fortune. The yacht was eventually seized, but Low was gone, slipping through the cracks of international law enforcement. Today the chase continues, but it's a chase for a ghost. Reports place him in China, living under a new name. Is he a fugitive on the run, or is he a protected guest of a superpower, a geopolitical pawn in a much larger game? Recent whispers speak of a man named Konstantinos Achilles Vase, a Cypriot citizen living in a Shanghai mansion. The face is older perhaps, but the distinctive features remain the same. Is this the latest evolution of Jho Low, another layer in the Mirage, or just another ghost story? The truth is the money is gone. For Malaysia, the party is over, but the hangover will last for decades. The country is now saddled with billions in debt from the 1MDB bonds. These are 30-year bonds, which means a generation not yet born will still be paying for Jho Low's parties. They will pay for the champagne, the private jets, the diamonds, and the ghost who took it all. In the end, Jho Low achieved the ultimate goal of the global elite. He has become an enigma. The world has his photos, it has his story, but it no longer has its money. He exposed the profound weaknesses in our financial system, showing that with enough audacity, the rules simply don't apply. He remains a symbol of an era of unchecked greed, a reminder that the biggest heists aren't committed with a gun, but with a pen, a phone call, and a well-placed friend. Welcome to the Deep End. Thanks for watching, and if you want to dive deeper into stories the world wants to forget, make sure you subscribe.